So I think we're live. Yes, deadline Gameweek 12 is just under about an hour or so for all of us here. And how many of us in the chat have not yet locked our teams? That is something we'll have to see. I have not locked my team yet. I've not made any transfers. So I hopefully I managed to take the decision that what I want to do. So yeah, that's Game Week 12 in short. Let's look at what was Game Week 11. In fact, so these are going to be our key talking points. We're going to briefly sum up Game Week 11 very quickly and then move on to Game Week 12. What do we do? Do we take a hit? Do we field in 11 players? Or what is the minimum amount of players we need? So these were the results quickly. Toney's Brace held Brentford. The much hyped game of Leicester Palace by Sankalp ended up as a goalless draw. Fulham drew thanks to Mitrovic. Wolves finally scored just one goal. Spurs scored because of Kane. Mount scored a brace with just 0.44 xg. Arsenal managed to beat Leeds with no power in the stadium, not by Arsenal. United versus Newcastle ended up as very beautiful draw, goalless draw. Southampton West Ham again a draw, and at Anfield it was a different story as Liverpool finally got the edge over City. That's the brief Game Week 11 in short. After all drama and VAR stuff again and again, and the key stats. I mean, again it was a weird week, so the numbers are again weird. Paqueta with 8 shots, Kane with 7, Haaland with 6, McGinn with 3, Che Adams with 3, and if slides gone weird. Okay, in terms of chances created, we have Perisic with 4, Jota with 4, unfortunately ruled out for the World Cup again. Jota, Cresswell, Brendan Aronson, and Trippier all with 4 chances. Again, two underperformers. Patrick Bamford missed a penalty, goal ruled out. Brennan Johnson with again 0.84 of XG. Over performance, as I said, Mount, thanks to Mings, he scored 1 and then a beautiful free kick. Ivan Toney again, he scored a goal. 2 goals, I think. That's something wrong on the slide. It didn't get updated and he took the piss at all of us who didn't have him. So that's pretty much done. These are the transfer trends. So, Surya, what do you feel about these players being bought in? Are there some bandwagon for a week or for multiple weeks?
When you talk about bandwagon, I could see Trossard there, just 1 week front. Yeah, I think, Kepa is again really good option. I think I think Arsenal are recorded around 2.5 xg, and then still they couldn't score a goal. I think Kepa was really good. I watched bits and pieces of the game as well. Trippier, I think, is more and more into the 60% range. I don't think Newcastle alone will be enough going forward, considering how well they are defending. Yeah, Van Dijk and Dyer are weird options. I think with Trent coming back, I think it makes sense to go back to Trent rather than VVD. But then, yeah, Van Dijk does give the aerial threat here and there. Salah's again back. Mount, yeah, it doesn't. All of them speak for themselves. Firmino again is a good option now, considering the fact that Jota is also not there. Is not going to be there. It's going to be Carvalho, Nunes, Elliott, Salah, and Firmino in the front three. So the number of players are less. So there's a lot of options, a lot of opportunity for Firmino. So I think Firmino is definitely a really good pick for the upcoming few weeks. I did consider bringing Firmino in, but then I just wanted to save the free transfer to bring in Jesus next week. So yeah, but he's definitely a really good option this week.
So we're done with ins. Let's look at out. I think the first guy will be James Madison. Because that's what I remember. And somewhat in the list, he is around like close to 645k managers have shipped him out. And the same with the bulk of blank players being shipped out with Jesus, Martinelli, and Reece James again, who's rolled out for a long time. At Trent again, I'm not sure what is going on. KDB. So all the blank players have been shipped out. I think that's pretty obvious from this list. Other than Haaland, I would say I think if you got in for a very cheap price at the start for 11.5, 11.6, I think it's hold instead of selling him off. If you're so desperate to feed 11 players because getting him again might be expensive. So I think the transfer outs are quite explanatory, right? Sankalp and Suresh, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much self-explanatory. Haaland is the surprising one. Probably, people who got him late, probably they're doing some talkie talkie, jumping on and off and stuff. But otherwise, I think it's pretty much intact with what is expected. I'm surprised that Haaland is, due for a price drop as well.
I think that is the panic of fielding 11 players and getting Salah back is what is going on. I think this week.
I think KDB Salah is pretty much self-explanatory. As in,
Yeah.
KDB's transfer out pretty much directly that reflects in Salah's transfer in. I think that's good area. Uh, More or less, Martinelli being sold by 205k matches, that's actually a good sign because if his ego goes down, it's going to be hugely beneficial in the next few games for Arsenal. I don't see them losing from 13 till 16 Arsenal. Great run of fixtures. I think a double up on say Martinelli and Messi is going to be the way forward. I really want to talk with
I
Sankalp
think we are
about.
getting, sorry to interrupt, Surya, we are getting again some background noise from somebody's mic is being picked up. I don't know from where.
Yeah, probably let's go mute when the other person is talking. That'll ensure
Yeah, I
the.
think there's something wrong with the all mics nowadays. It's just picking up even the slightest of noise. Surya, you can please carry on.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell was. Yeah, Martinelli and Saka should be the way forward, or probably Martinelli and Jesus. So it depends on which two of the three you would go for, or even probably three of them. I did want to talk with Sankalp about Saka's improved performance in the last few games. Few people have been telling the tactics have slightly been tweaked to kind of favor Saka over the few weeks. Whether or not is that due to Saka's performance, you never know. But yeah, but the funny thing was, I had Saka till my wild card, and then Martinelli was outscoring him, and then I moved to Martinelli, and then Saka started outscoring him. So I bet to get both of them for game week. 39.
I think there's a slight tweak in the way we are playing. I see Ben White overlapping far more than he was doing in the initial weeks. Now, this can also be because of the confidence levels that Ben White has as a right back, because the first few weeks he was just starting in that position for us, and now he's played fairly quite a number of times, right? And that is helping Saka go quite a bit inward now. You see, so earlier in the game weeks, we saw Martinelli taking those central positions a lot more, and sometimes Jesus drifting out. And now I see sometimes Saka going quite a bit inside, right? And both Jesus and Saka playing as a double forward role. So that is helping, and I think Saka's confidence has really picked up, right? I would say, obviously it's very difficult to choose between the two. I think it's a fair shout to go for both of them, Martinelli and Saka, right? Given the fixtures are now, good for Arsenal till the World Cup at least, and the fact that I think these assets for Arsenal are far more, we are far more confident of them, going close to 90 minutes compared to rest of the teams, and that also remains the fact.
Yes.
So Sankalp was very happy when Surya said that Arsenal's run of form will continue. Now only he started picturing game week 38 when the Premier League trophy is given to Arteta. So let's wait and see what happens.
I
So
mean, thanks to Liverpool, at least we have some relief.
Yeah, I think as a United fan, anyone except City is going to be the at least at least my hope for the season. Yeah, let's see.
So yeah, we've covered transfer ins and outs. So let's look at what is right in front of us in and about less than an hour and a half. That's the game week 12 fixtures, and then we have Brighton play for us. That's the first game, and then we have Palace and Wolves. So Brighton Forest again. It's the Trossard train is I think come back to the station again, and there are a lot of people boarding again the train. Other than Surya, who was the actually the first passenger to board, and now many people have followed him.
He's the station master.
No,
Yeah,
He's the station
we'll put it
master.
that way. Who doesn't have Trossard here out of the four? That should be the simplest question.
yeah.
Oh, you don't have Sankalp. Oh, wow.
Even I,
Sankalp.
I even I
Uh,
don't have him, but I'm going to get him now.
so,
Oh, you're
so,
going to get it. That's what I'm
so,
saying.
so the way for me was, I had Madison to sell, and I was thinking of someone like Trossard to go in, but once I looked at the Salah performance, it was so difficult
Yeah.
not to go for him, right? So I moved Madison out for Salah, and someone like Jesus I had to downgrade, right?
Mm.
Again, the fact that fixtures in the midterm looks really good for Salah compared to Trossard helped. But for this game week, there's no denying. I think he comes a fairly close out to the captaincy bit as well. Again, we'll go back to captaincy later, but
Mhm.
I think he looks really good. But again, this is the first match of the game week, right?
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
people who do not like to captain players in the first match.
yeah, yes.
That is
I
never
think.
back the early kickoff, right? What you can
Never bet
say.
the early kick.
Mhm. So if it fails, it's never back the early kickoff. If it succeeds, yeah, it doesn't count for midweek. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I was just going to about to say that, that doesn't count for midweeks.
midweek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has everything in for a perfect 1 week option, I would say. And even if people that don't want to move him out after, say, this week, Brighton or no pushers against the big teams. They did, Trossard, in fact, did really well against Liverpool, and they could. I think they play Chelsea in game week 13. The Brighton team would know inside out of Potter. That's for a given. They probably would try to go and go one better than their former boss. So it's not a bad thing of having Trossard, and if you have to start him for the next few weeks as well, I think yeah, he could still be a good option. But then yeah, you can also go out to into say Saka or Foden because all both of Arsenal and City have good fixtures, and both would want to go into the World Cup break top of the Premier League table. And with Arsenal having the upper hand, I think they'll give it an all. So Trossard also has a nice exit out to other players in that particular range, Mount as well. So it's pretty interesting to see how it goes this week. Yeah,
So these are the two games today, and then we have Bournemouth, Southampton, Brentford,
So
Chelsea again.
Palace Wolves, anyone with Zaha, captaincy. I have Zaha, so I just have to stick to him,
yeah,
giving
yeah.
others a blanking. But
Even
what's going wrong?
I think
Everyone jumped 3 weeks back. What's going wrong for Zaha?
I think yeah, I didn't look at the heat map or didn't watch a lot of Palace, but then his numbers have dropped kind of lower than Eze. So I was comparing those two, and I'm not sure, but this always has been the case. Whenever we jump on Zaha after he performs for a few weeks, I think he goes missing. Suresh will definitely agree to me on this because on the wildcard stream, I remember him telling, "I'm still not sold, but then I'm going because everybody's going there." Uh, but yeah, that game, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 0-0 because Wolves will defend from the beginning, and Palace have been slightly struggling to score. So yeah, I was mentioning on one free blog saying I wouldn't even be surprised if that game still goes into 0-0. But yeah, if you have Zaha, I think we'll have to stick and just hope he performs. Yeah, that's my hope for today. Yeah,
The problem is that he
yeah,
looking at the fixtures on paper even until the
yeah, yeah,
break, it looks so good. But the problem with this guy is always whenever you get him in your team, that's when he
yeah,
doesn't score or assist. That's
yeah,
how he has been.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
Exactly.
have
he's
very small theory on this. Palace is a team that plays really well on counter. When they counter, it goes to Zaha's strengths, right? And they counter against big teams, right? And that means Zaha always does well in the tougher matches.
Yeah,
And when the
exactly.
easier matches come, that's exactly the time, we go in for Zaha and we're like, okay, he will continue the run. But the
Mhm.
football they play in the easier
never.
matches does not exactly, play to his strengths.
Mhm.
And it keeps happening every season.
Yeah, and in some games they've started both Eze and Olise as well. I think they both are not still developing, so they're not that defensively strong enough. So which puts added pressure on Zaha to track back, to stay back, and draw the defenders to his side. So they have been constantly changing. Vera has been constantly changing that. They go sometimes three at the back against the big teams, and sometimes the Olise is benched against the bigger teams. Have a holding midfielder there. So it's kind of a chopping and changing theory as well that's happening there. So, but again, against Wolves, knowing that they'll sit back and defend their hard earned, I think that suits Zaha. So as a Zaha owner, so that's what I expect. So hopefully a goal or goal or two today would be really interesting because yeah, I have both Trossard and Zaha, so it's going to be a fun night. Back in the day.
How many more game weeks are we going to say this, Surya? To console ourselves,
Yeah, console ourselves. Yeah.
So,
there's
so what Aditya taught me last week is, always say it's a 1-1 game week. I was expecting a 3-2 against Leicester, and
Yeah.
they decided to do a, clean sheet draw. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a 1-1 clear, match. It's not going to be a high scoring match.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a high scoring one. Yeah,
I
Bournemouth
think the
Southampton.
midweek
Yeah,
games will be this way only. They'll either we'll see weird score lines where one team just going past another, or we are going to see very what we say tired performance because of continuous run of games over the next few weeks. There will be rotations here and there. Players won't be sharp enough because others will be given a chance. So let's see what happens. But if you tell Zaha is playing United, he's going to give you a double digit haul. Unfortunately, they don't play United every week, so we can't
yeah,
help.
yeah. Uh, I think Bournemouth are also a team that I think I would really want to touch upon a little bit. They are also having few players coming back from injury. So Junior Stanislas, I think everybody would know him from a few seasons back, and they're in the Premier League. He was a decent option in FPL as well, along with Pilsen and those former Cherries names. I think they are getting stronger as well. I think the interim manager should become full time manager. I think they have a change in ownership that's happening, so that's delaying the announcement or sorts. So Solanke should really fire against Southampton. And in fact, his ownership is still 5%. That was very eye opening for me. So one of the things that went right for me in my wild card, just a few things, was sticking with Solanke. So yeah, I think Southampton don't have. Bella Kochap as well. He has a dislocated shoulder, so their backline has already been conceding, and then they don't have one of their strongest defenders. So I think Solanke Solanke once again returning shouldn't be a surprise. I think Sankalp got him in as well, if I'm not wrong. So yeah,
Fun fact: they have not lost a match since that Liverpool 9-0 loss.
nine.
They're
Yeah.
yet to lose.
yeah. I think they're above Liverpool as well after that. So in the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for some bit of time, yes. They're
yeah,
currently 10th in the table, right? So they are a team that might not give you a lot of goals, but I
yeah,
think they are now much more stable as a team in the way they
yeah,
are,
yeah. Exactly.
creating the way they are setting back, right? So given the fixtures still remain good for them, uh,
Yeah,
you guys sucked me in as well. The way he continued to give you guys returns,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I was like, okay. And these are players on form, both Solanke and Billing. I think Billing is someone, who's looking good. Someone here asked a question I saw: who would you recommend for punts outside, the regular folks? I think Billing is a guy on form. In
mm,
case you are unable to get Solanke and you
mm,
are looking for a 1 week punt, I think Billing is a fair shout because he's matching more or less Solanke
yeah,
from
yeah.
the returns,
Exactly.
primarily because he's a midfielder, right?
Makes
So
sense.
uh, can go there as well. Good match, at least to go for.
Yeah, and they do perform really well at home. That's something that I've monitored as well. They're a really good team, strong team
Yeah.
at home, and it's a home fixture. So yeah, Billing and Solanke are great options from that particular fixture. So yeah, his ownership is still low. So Solanke's point should be really helpful in terms of climbing up ranks. Yeah,
So we have the next game, Brentford against Chelsea. That's an away game for Chelsea. On paper, yes, it is kind of a very tricky game because always, at Brentford, it's very tough to play. We don't know how things will go on. Either you will get battered or you will smash them. So one thing or the other happens. Always there. It's a very tight game, I can see. And then you have Liverpool, West Ham. That's arguably, what reunion for most managers who got in Salah and who are giving him the armband. So it was very like 4 5 weeks back. People were saying like all the matches. Game week 12 is the time to get back Salah. Game week 13, game week 12. Look at the timing when Salah scores the goal against City, and then the train just goes past. That everybody's like, I told you so. I told you so. I'm getting Salah. I'm getting Salah. That train has gone all the way, and he's been gotten to almost 400 to 500k managers or more than that.
yeah.
That
Actually,
might
that's
increase a
pretty.
lot.
Yeah, I think actually that's pretty less going by his performance against Man City. Had he had another return, I think his ownership would have been like The transfer should have been in
skyrocketed
the
easily.
millions.
I
So
think
I was slightly
Thanks
happy that
to
way.
thanks
Yeah,
to Nunes.
It's up now. So it's gone.
yeah,
At least over the last 4 or 5 hours, it was around 500k. It's crossed 740k by now.
no, I'll
So
tell
I
you,
wouldn't be
it was
surprised it is going to cross a mill very quickly.
yeah. Mm.
People
he
just
was
booking
at
here and there.
29% yesterday at the
Mhm,
same time, somewhere
mhm,
around. So he
mhm.
is almost close to 39. That's
Yeah,
10% in
mhm,
24 hours.
yeah.
It
I
will
think
be it
after.
will be it will be
Crazy.
41 by the
Mm.
end.
Oh, easily, yeah. We have 40 minutes left, so easily. There's going to be
So,
so many more transfers.
one very nice question I saw on Twitter was, would you have gone for Salah if he did not score? Right?
Yeah, I
He
would.
played well. He continued
Yeah.
to play well, and he didn't score. How do you think it would have played out?
I think as a selfish owner, I thought he would not score against City.
Exactly. I was just going to say that, Surya.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wish he hadn't scored, and
yeah,
we didn't see this amount of
yeah,
surge in people getting him in.
yeah, exactly. And
I
I
kind
think,
of wish.
yeah, I was hoping, but I was at least happy that it was just an 8 pointer, not anymore. I think if it was double digit, as you were saying, the ownership would have skyrocketed. Zope was mentioning the same. I think Salah's game week 11 EO and game week 12 EO should be the biggest jump we would have ever seen, because when I checked around my rank tier, it was 15-20% last game week. I think it should be easily somewhere 60-65% for game week 12, with a lot of people captaining him. Yeah. Anyways, at least it's not
I
not a
think
big
the
call.
other aspect from the West
Yeah,
Ham standpoint as well, just to add a few more things. So both Zuma and Dawson were not
yeah, I thought.
present in the previous game, so
Yeah,
that's something to watch out. I'm not sure if there was a press conference of David Moyes, but if at all, if they are going to be out, their center back partnership is out, and
yeah,
they might have to depend on someone else
yeah,
who's
yeah,
going to play there. So that is also something to be considered.
yeah,
And it is going to be interesting to see what Liverpool's formation is also going to be. They tweaked a little bit for the City game. Probably it is to adapt in terms of their availability and all that. Considering Yota and Diaz is not there, you have the likes of Firmino, Salah, and Nunes to form that front three, or probably they might throw someone like a Carvalho or a Elliott, on the flanks as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where Salah fits in. Probably
mhm,
in the center. So
yeah,
that's going to be.
We
yeah,
don't have a Liverpool fan here, but my personal thoughts is maybe it will be a 4-3-1-2 kind of thing. Firmino has been doing really well, so I'm expecting that he will come back in. And Jota and Nunes and Salah both will play a bit up close because of the fact that they don't have a good center back pairing. It makes sense to keep Salah closer like they did against City, right? What do you guys think of Darwin Nunes? Right, he's not he's getting all the praise, and he's against a team which does not have center backs, right?
yeah. I think just to update on West Ham standpoint, Moyes did have a press conference, but he did say both of them are still doubt, so they could have an entire back line of fullbacks, because all of their
They're
fullbacks
playing
play
FIFA.
back too. And yeah, Moyes have been slightly sometimes going three at the back against the big team. So someone asked about Kofal. Sufal should start this game. Maybe Kerher and Ben Johnson could slot in at centre back. Creswell too could play left centre back, and Emerson could play the left wing back role. So you never know there. But Salah also traditionally scores well against West Ham. I think he has a very good record, and my memory is very evident that whenever I've captained him against West Ham, he's done really well. I still believe he sticks through. Salah plays through center, and Fabio plays from the left. Fabio is naturally played on the left side for Fulham for when he was in the championship last season. So I believe Darwin doesn't start after what he did as well, coming in last game week. He missed chance for fun. Yeah, so I feel he's punished. Maybe not. Maybe I could be wrong. As Sanka pointed, both it could be a two up forward formation as well. It's hard to predict, but I feel Carvalho plays through the left and Elliot plays through the right, and Salah plays through center with Firmino back soon. So yeah, I expect Firmino to start this week. Yeah.
Yes,
If
even I
Trent
feel Bobby will
starts,
play.
Sorry.
if Trent starts, I think we need to start thinking on those lines as well. It's not just Liverpool attack. The
Yeah.
defense is looking good again, right? We saw Van Dijk, really picking up. While we are not confident of whether Trent is starting, if
Yeah.
he does start, I think he can give us a major haul as well. Again,
Yeah.
right? He has a point to prove.
Yeah, I think Trent starts because Konate is still out, so Gomez has to cover the center back. Milner cannot play two games in
Two
such a
matches.
short span, so Trent comes directly in. I would definitely say, and yeah, he's been one player that I want to transfer him in next week. Probably this week would also be a very good differential uh, option. Maybe Elliot could hold the width, and Trent could bombard forward and then cross it to Salah. I think we could see a Salah goal, Trent assist. Sooner or later.
Oh,
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah, here's a question. So, I am looking to get in a Liverpool defensive player. I still
Hmm.
have a free transfer to make. Probably I'm going to do that while we are streaming.
Hmm.
So I'm considering to get in Gomez. For a 2 to 3 week punt, probably. What would you guys suggest? Considering their centre backs are out at least. Um Konate is out at least for 10 more days. That's the update that
10
we
days.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and this guy Matip, we don't know what's the update is all going to
Mm.
be. So I'm considering going into Gomez. The initial idea was to get in Robo, but I'm not quite sure because there is always a threat in the form of Simicast who can get in, play a game or two in his role. So I'm just going to think if I'm going to get in Gomez for a 3 week punt or at least up until the World Cup break. So your thoughts?
Yeah, going by what Klopp said, I think Matip should be back soon because he said the same timeline for Trent, and Trent is back already. So I think it's going to be a risky punt. I don't think Gomez lasts till game week 16. So maybe directly if you're looking at a Liverpool defender, if you have the funds, I'm not sure what's the case there. Maybe directly waiting and going for Trent is a better idea, I would say. As you mentioned, Robo Simikas is also dangerous, but Virgil is also a good option. He gets those 3-4 headers as well in a season consistently for the last 3-4 years. So maybe if you want to gamble on a centre back, Van Dijk is a safer option because with both Matip and Konate close, I wouldn't want to risk that spot and wasting another free transfer there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could go Van Dijk or even Robo. I have the
Mhm.
funds for that, for both players. My intention was if I go someone like Robertson or Van Dijk, my next week plans get altered a little bit. So that's the thing. If I go Gomez this week, then I can easily get Foden and the likes of Saka, who I'm targeting for next week, pretty easily.
I would
For
go. I would go Botman then. Go for a cheaper Newcastle
I
defender.
have Trippier already, so that's the only concern
Double
that
up,
I have. Uh-huh.
double
Double
up.
up.
I think a double up
I'm
is
not.
definitely good.
Or Suresh, do you have a Palace defender by any chance?
I have a goalkeeper, Gaita
Oh,
from Palace, so
Mm,
yeah,
I'm pretty much covered over there. So
yeah,
my intention was to either get Robertson or roll the transfer to have two next week, and make
yeah.
changes in the form of getting Foden and Saka
if you
plus
ask
Ben
me,
White.
attack seems like the best option, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you are not really in the top 10K, top 20K, right? So we need to attack, and there's a lot of value in going for the likes of Saka and Foden, right? So I would go for them on top of going for someone like Trent. For now, that's how my reading is, right? So
Exactly. That's the reason
let's.
I'm considering Gomez.
Hmm.
So I can tap into the Liverpool defense as well, at a very minimal cost, as well
Yeah,
as get these two players next week. I mean, for me, if Gomez lasts at least for 2 or 3 game weeks, that's more than enough, I
that's
would
more
say.
than enough.
I,
Yeah,
th- I think 2 game weeks make sense. Third game week I think is against Leeds, which they will concede, right? Is my feeling, right? So take it as a 2 week punt, and then you can
yeah,
decide. But at least it gets you Saka for next week, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
True. True.
I think
All
what
right.
you can go with Gomez, because what I was thinking is if Gomez plays the way he's playing and if he's consistent enough, I think Matip has to really throw him off his place to get back to the starting level. Although we know Klopp prefers Matip more or
Yeah,
less, but Gomez has been playing well. I think he deserves a chance. So just go with it. We'll see. I mean,
Uh,
he could end up
or
keeping his place.
we can.
yeah,
I remember last season when Klopp really played Matip in the league and Konate in Champions League.
the
So
Champions League.
you might have a scenario where Matip goes to less physical matches in Champions League
Yeah, yeah.
and Gomez continues in Premier League. It's
Yeah, I think
possible.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
possible.
one thing I've always noticed about Gomez. He always performs really well whenever he plays, but then he rarely plays. I don't know what happens there, but he's definitely a very good player to be third, fourth, or fifth choice at the moment. Yeah, but yeah, whenever he plays really well. So it would be a good point. Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Before we move on, I want to lock in my team. So we
Mm.
just have about 29 minutes before the site crashes again. I'm just going to lock my team. Okay. So guys, whoever are listening, please, get your plans ready. If you have any questions, drop in. We'll answer them quickly. Let's lock all our teams. So by two transfers, I'll have to take a hit. Next week, I'm going to use my wild card. After this deadline, I'm going to
Right.
activate my wild card. So, anyways, so I'm thinking
All right.
Madison.
We see some flexing happening here from Aditya.
Not flexing. I have to take a hit. What is the point of flexing when your rank is still poor?
Everyone
It's
is taking a hit. Hit is no
yeah.
longer a hit. Two
Yeah.
hits is a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a
Okay.
blank game week, your hit is -2, not
Minus.
-4.
Shiva, if he's watching, will be very proud. Yeah, he's made it here.
All
So
right, go ahead. Sorry.
I was thinking a Madison to Trossard.
Mm.
Why am I laughing? And then I was thinking I'm removing Gabriel Jesus for Bobby Firmino. I'm going for this week anyway,
Yeah,
and just
I
seeing what
think
Yeah,
happens.
it's
worth the
definitely.
punt. Yeah, because anyways, you can bring Jesus in next week when you're wild carding.
That's
So
the
yeah,
luxury I'm
that's
going to do.
definitely a good. Both are good 1 week options. Yeah, and with West Ham's backline in a mess, definitely yeah, go for it. Yeah, I would say.
Okay, so all good. I'm going to go and press the
Yeah,
button. Meanwhile, let's pick out some questions from here. We start
yeah,
from the bottom. Firmino starts this week. We were saying yes, Firmino has a good chance to play. Will Trent play against West Ham tomorrow?
Most likely starts.
yeah.
That
Most
would
likely
be
starting
common
forward. Yeah,
consensus from us. Yeah.
Check the minutes. Check the minutes. Someone said, I feel like captaining Trent. Check the minutes. He might
That'll be,
not
yeah.
complete 60. He
Hmm.
he may be around 60. He'll definitely not play 90. Right?
yeah.
It's he just
Exactly.
played
That
10
that
minutes
could be a
last match.
stretch, but he might start. But captaining
Yeah.
could be a stretch.
Oh, he was already taken off in the 59th minute once this season. So yeah, I remember that game. Again, it was the Merseyside derby against Everton. He was hooked in 59. Yeah, so no. Yeah, there's one question on Madison replacement. So I think that's a good enough
I
discussion. So
think that's pretty much what we
I
have
think
covered.
that one train has already. Even I boarded to the train just now, so you all know that answer.
yeah, so yeah, he's at a nice price that you can downgrade. If you have a little bit extra, you can upgrade. So that's a nice problem to have because you have a lot of options around him. So I personally downgraded to Trossard, keeping in mind I would like to bring in Foden or Saka in game week 13. So that's the plan for me. What do you guys think of Mount? He had a really good week. I think he's slowly starting to become the key player for Potter. So he's not. He's the only player that's played all games under Potter, so he's fairly rotation proof. I think you cannot say that for any of other.
I would, yeah, I was about to say that. I wouldn't put anyone rotation prone from, under
Yeah, yeah,
Porta. We're seeing some wild
yeah.
changes from
Wild
him.
changes.
But
Yeah,
still, yeah,
it,
but still, Mount is a very good option. But
mhm,
my only concern is these couple of things. One is, there is no guarantee that he's also going to be continuing with the number of minutes he's getting. The other
mhm.
factor is you can't expect that Hall's kind of a thing. It rarely happens. He could come out with an hat tricks whenever you never expect out of him. But otherwise, he's not a guy who scores double-digit returns week in, week out and stuff. So you
Yeah,
can
exactly.
expect a consistent set of returns at times. So that's the bare minimum I would keep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with Suresh
yeah.
on
I
that.
think
I,
every time he hauls, people bring him in, and then he gives you one or
he goes
two,
out.
and that's
I think FPL wise is very similar to like Bernardo Silva, who will haul in very short spans But
Yeah,
on a longer run, he'll tick you those points at the end of the season. But you can't expect 10 pointer every week.
As a Bernardo Silva owner, I concur.
Then at least he's at least. Okay,
yeah.
so there's another one question I'm going to pin up here. Took a -4 for Salah and Joe Gomez. Recommend additional minus for Josh? No, I would say no. You're going to wildcard anyways
Come on,
in this
Minus,
additional
season.
one. No.
I think I wouldn't do -8. -4 seems
Yeah,
okay, but -8 is too
Who
big
are
of a
Leicester
difference.
playing this week? They are home to Leeds. I would go for it actually. Josh Da Silva is your 0 to 1 pointer, right? Harvey Barnes has
Yeah,
potentially
yes,
very
yes.
high, right? So
Yeah,
it's
I would
okay. I
say
mean, what do you lose? You lose a 2 pointer or a 3 point, right? So it's a fair gamble to take in the blank game week.
it's Harvey Barnes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
no.
see, Madison
Aditya,
is not
actually,
playing.
yeah.
yeah, the
When
thing
you,
is, Barnes has been playing really well. To be honest,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
getting into very
he,
promising
he's
positions.
been
The
playing
only
well.
point is, yeah, only point is he's not converting them.
mm,
He could have scored a couple of chances in the last game, or he
mm,
could have taken a. He's taking the very wrong shots he shouldn't be taking, or he takes the shots where he has to square. So
mm,
that's the kind of thing. But probably the returns are coming with Barnes. But my only problem is, as Surya mentioned, -8 is a bit of stretch.
yeah, yeah,
At least this
See,
game.
just look at it as an additional -4, right? Forget the -8 part. Is Josh Da Silva to Harvey Barnes worth a -4? Right? Because this guy will get you 2 points, this guy will get you 1 point. So you are already making a 1 point there, right? And it's a match against Leeds at home. If it was Leeds away, I would be a bit worried. At home, Leeds are fairly open, and this should be a 1-1 kind of game.
yeah.
The only thing, Sankalp, is that Leeds aren't leaking goals, that much these days. They are trying to keep it tight.
Yeah,
At
it's
least
a
that.
compact setup. Yeah, it, mm, it could work. Yeah, we've had two set of sites representing yes and no.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Fair.
let's see what
Fair.
happens.
Pro and con is there, right? Take your
Uh,
call. If you're someone who likes risk, take it. If you are someone who do not like it, I think you can take that 1 pointer from Josta Silva. I am taking it.
yeah.
Right. There's another question. What do you all think about taking a free hit this week? I would say if you have at least like 9 or 10 players available to play, I would say just go
Mm,
with that. Your free would
mm,
come in handy, at a later part of the season
yeah,
where there is blanks and doubles coming in. So
yeah.
I think it's wise to save your free hit.
Yeah, and just like last season, it's going to be not just the regular double game weeks and blanks. There's going to be a lot more. City, Arsenal, Brighton, and Palace have two each to be full, and all the other teams have one each to be rescheduled. So it could be scattered around in different game weeks, making it a double for a lot of teams. And yeah, so you might as well need it for then. And more or less, you're trying to not fix those. Players to target, you're just making up numbers because the core of a free team and a core of a normal team is pretty much going to be the same because a lot of players still would have Trippier, would still have Mitrovic, would still have a couple of other regular spots. It's just that you're shoring up numbers. So the difference is not that great. So at the end of the day, a free team and the normal team for Game Week 12, I don't see a big difference in points, even though you'll miss out on one or two players. A lot have 11, including me, but those 11 has Andres Pereira and Neko Williams starting. So it's again 9 or 10 players, I would say. So I would definitely hold it for a later part of the season for sure.
Yeah.
I think only
The
Neko Williams is the issue for most of us because Andres Pereira at the moment is
Yeah.
outperforming Bruno, so will not count him out.
Yeah.
which Bruno Guimaraes.
Nice joke.
No, no, he
So he's the
He-
informed guy, right?
yeah,
I have to
he's the
compare with him.
yeah. I think
yeah, we
You're
don't
enjoying.
know about any other Bruno, Sankar. Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah. You don't.
Yeah.
We didn't know
So
Bruno plays for United. Yeah.
there is one Bruno which played decent at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
See, there were three Brunos this season.
Uh-huh.
One Bruno is outperforming,
Mhm.
where one Bruno forgot to play, one Bruno lost his job.
Uh-huh. Which Bruno? Which third Bruno? I referring.
Oh my god. the joke and that arrow will come.
Wolves
Wolves,
coach.
Wolves,
Ah, okay,
Bruno
okay.
Lage.
Uh,
Bruno Lage.
So
Lage.
one thing when it comes to free hit, right? I always look at a week where you can go for assets that others are not going, right? So I generally don't like blank game weeks for free hit because the potential is very much limited. Everyone is going to sets, same set of players, right? And here the only high attractive potential asset for me are Liverpool assets, which most of us are covering. Most of us are going for Salah. Some of us might also go for Salah and Nunes, or Salah and Firmino. So more or less there are a lot of people who are going to cover you, right? So you'll not gain a lot from that free hit. Rather, if you want to take up a couple of those assets, take hits and go for it. But save that free hit. Once there will be complexities post World Cup. There will be some games which will be moved around, and there are fixtures already waiting to be shifted. At the same time, I think potentially you will get better as
Hmm,
fixtures for sure compared to the current one.
yeah, exactly.
We'll
Perfect.
pick some more questions,
Yeah,
Aditya.
I think we should
Yes,
move to our teams as well. So people are asking.
yes.
So
Yeah,
So
just
let's
to
quickly.
update, I've made my transfer.
Yeah, yeah,
So I've
yeah.
removed James and gotten Gomez, as I told. So
lovely.
So Reece James goes out for Joe Maldini, and where does he start? So who
sorry.
who who loses the place for Joe Gomez? Yes, I think Andres goes down
It is Williams,
or
Nico
Nico.
Williams.
Nico Williams.
Yeah,
Okay,
Nico,
yeah, that is
put it
much
on
better.
for sub. Yeah, brought Gomez in. I'm going to leave Andreas. Aston Villa is anyways playing awful. So I would expect some sort of returns out of there. Surprisingly, I have all 11 players who's playing at home.
Yeah, that
So
is. Suresh,
let's
one
see.
more thing. Someone's asking
Oh,
about Rashford, your last week's captain, so you might as well take that question.
Oh my God! Please don't recall recall that. So that
he
was
should have
that.
scored at
I,
the
I
end.
am
It
glad.
still
Oh
hurts.
no! Don't
I,
get me started on
I
that.
am
I
glad
lost
my
16 points by going Martinelli to Rashford in 2 weeks.
Mm.
I am glad
So
my debate on differential captains struck
okay,
you, Suresh, but maybe it struck the wrong note.
wrong note, and I ended up where in a scenario where Haaland ended up scoring more than my captain,
Mm.
despite
Even
going
that,
against him.
yeah.
That's how it was. Yeah, but getting back on a serious note to Rashford, yeah, Rashford is still a very good option. He generally tends to play pretty good against the bigger teams, the likes of the top six we call. So he was a bit hill last week. That's the reason he started on the bench. Is the comment that we're hearing from Tenak. So he should be starting next week against Spurs. I think it's a pretty good game for him. I would expect some returns from him this week. Though the way Spurs could defend, but at the same time they would want to try and attack and get some points as well. So I think that it's a good combination to have Rashford this particular week.
I just have hopes, Suresh, from whatever you're saying. When I have Rashford, I just hoping, things
No
finally.
other
Yeah,
no other go.
I, I think purely speaking from a United fan's perspective, he definitely plays really well against big teams, especially when we counter. Yeah, he does still miss a few big chances on counter sometimes, but he's largely improved. So yeah, Spurs will look to counter as well. So it's going to be an interesting game. So it's the team that picks the biggest of chances because if Spurs score, they're going to sit back. So there's not going to be a lot of chances coming in. But
It's going to be that first goal. Who scores
yeah,
the early
who
goal?
scores the first goal? Yeah,
That will open up the game. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I can't believe I'm using the same terms and the manager is not Mourinho. So yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I
But
think
I
let's
think
move on to.
yeah, yeah.
So
As
Suresh,
I
your team
was
is up on screen.
Yeah, as you were saying a little bit earlier, so I did have two free transfers, but I just used one. I moved Madison out for Trossard. I did have one more free transfer with me still now, but I'm kind of holding it for next game week. So I have quite some money in the bank, so I could Zaha and Trossard out to get Foden and Saka. That's what I had in mind. And somebody asked who to get, Saka or Martinelli over the next few weeks till to the World Cup. I think Martinelli and Saka could do well, both of them together. Martinelli should still get his returns. Saka has been doing really good. So yeah, that's the plan. So I didn't want to waste another free transfer this week to say go for someone like Mount. Yeah, because I'm still not sold over Mount entirely. So that was my reasoning. So I still have two free transfers the next week. So that would help me match wildcarders like Aditya when they get their wildcard teams coming out.
So
So
two questions I have for you, Surya. One, why? How is it that you did not have Trossard till now? Second is why are you not captaining him?
yeah, that's what I had him till the wild card, and I wild carded him out, and he scored a hat trick. So that was a big disaster. Same with Almiron. So I got Almiron before the break as a 1 week punt. He blanked that week, and after I transferred him out on my wild card, he scored 15 points. Yeah, so the wild card has not been.
I have one question for Surya.
Yeah,
Who do you want to get next week?
so I'm thinking of moving Zaha and Trossard out for Foden and
Foden.
Saka. Yeah,
Yeah,
Foden
I
and
think that's
So
Saka.
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 Unfortunately, both of them blanked this week. No, this we could have got him and taken the halls, both of them, but we
Uh-huh.
can't.
no, that's the plan, Aditya. Most of us have those, transfers reserved for getting in the
So
likes of Foden and
yeah,
Saka to double up or get a bit of differential in the form of Saka to
yeah.
counter those little bit of wildcarders who are still pending to take on us.
Yeah, you can definitely save that wild card and use it after the break also if you need. So
That is my problem. Most of the seasons I play till the last week of using the first wildcard, I somehow managed to survive. At
mhm.
the end of the day, it is what most of us are in the same boat. Those who wildcarded in game week 3, game week 8, game week 9, all of us are very much close, maybe 100, 200K apart here and there. It's not, made a sort of a big
So
difference.
so given our history of using wildcards, I think it makes sense. You don't use your wildcard.
Yeah. but but I definitely disagree on the Game Week 8, Game Week 9 wildcard because the ones that played in Game Week 8, lot went Foden over Zaha because those fixtures were there to take, and the ones that went in 9 went madly by the FDR saying it looks easy. Yeah, I think Suresh is nodding his head, so that says it all. Yeah, so I think Game Week 8 was a ideal time this season at least. Yeah, just picking on a Trossard related question. Sinistra as a medium term option or Trossard as a 1 week punt taking a hit. Sinistra, I think Leeds have all the attackers right now, so he's been taken off early. So he's one bad performance away, I would say, because Bamford, Rodrigo, Aronson, Harrison are all there. So confident on him after what happened the last time on a few when took him when he was red carded. I would rather go Trossard as a 1 week punt. Yeah, going by my history. So that's me answering that question. So.
Yeah, I think we have 10 more minutes to go. Probably we'll pick a few more
We'll
questions.
stream for the next 5, 6 minutes and then we'll wrap up. We'll wrap up in another 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's
We'll
take
let
as many questions as possible,
questions.
probably.
Yeah. So this is the last one. We got Madison and James to Trossard and Gay or Trossard and Trent.
Trossard and Trent.
Trent, yeah.
Easy option. Trossard and Trent.
Yeah, but this means that next week he'll not be able to do the moves that you were also planning to do, right?
I mean,
So I
we
think
don't know
the
if he's
situation
also
is
planning the same.
Yeah.
come
So
on,
at least
everyone
one
is
of the
planning the
questions.
same.
No, at least I could just go with the question only, right? So Trossard and Arnold is easy pick. So what is the next one? Which of
I
this
think
trio?
Saka, Salah. I think I would go Saka, Salah, Solanke.
Yeah,
I really
I
like that.
concur.
Yeah, I think I think Wilson
Wilson,
is a
Wilson.
good pick,
No,
but he
Wilson
doesn't.
as a threat. Yeah,
Yeah,
Isak could come
Yes,
back, or he could himself get injured and
Isak
stuff.
is, I think
yeah,
Isak
Isaac is
is
out.
rolled out
Yeah.
ruled out till World Cup.
World Cup.
But
Yeah.
but the
Oh, two
second
till
point
World
Suresh
Cup.
is mentioning, he himself could get injured. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Yes,
that's the
yeah, that
thing,
is
right? He
one.
himself.
yeah,
Just
And
find
the
a
thing
way to
is,
get both.
Martinelli is another template. If you want to take a punt for a couple of weeks, I think Saka is on form. Probably we can go that way. So I think the first
But then
option
you
is
will have the Saka versus Foden debate again with who is the best in that price bracket.
I think this time I would say both. Yeah,
Yeah,
considering both. Yeah,
Just go
yeah,
both.
it's easy this
Just
time. If
accommodate
you
all.
if you have the opportunity to get both,
yeah,
easily, get both and chill out.
yeah,
Don't get into
exactly.
that debate.
Get
Trossard.
Okay,
Saka, Foden,
quickly, let's go
Martinelli.
to captaincy very
Yeah.
quickly. Other than Salah, who?
Other than Salah, who the safest alternative to Salah is Trippier, considering they're playing home. Yeah, I kind of hope it's a 0-0. I don't know why I went Pickford in my wild card in the first place. So I want a 0-0. So last week, after seeing what Sa did when Kane took the penalty, I had a slight hope inside me saying, "Yes, Pickford is going to save this and get me a double-digit haul," but that didn't happen. So. Yeah, yeah. Trippier is the safest option outside of Salah. Trossard could be a
I think, yeah,
yeah.
Trossard next after Salah. If you ask me, Trossard is the
Hmm.
next best this week.
Hmm.
My armband is on Firmino at the
Ooh.
moment.
Now
Yeah,
that's a
but
beautiful point, man. If it works, he has actually traditionally played well. If he could come. Firmino is someone like Mount category. You never know when he is going to return. Whether he comes with a bang, he'll come out with an hat trick easily out of nowhere.
yeah,
Firmino is that
But
kind of
I
a
feel
player.
he might have used the ticket 2 weeks back. That is the problem again.
yeah. I,
Let's see.
So we are on Surya's team. We'll just quickly go to Sankalp's team. Very quickly. 7 and 3 minutes.
So did my changes early, did it Sunday night itself. I had to move out Madison and to go to Salah and to fund it, I very sadly I had to drop Jesus and go for Solanke. Right. The idea is next week, get Saka first, and if possible, I might do Foden. Else, I will do Foden a week later. That's the thought as things stand now. Both Perisic and Doherty helped me a lot last week, but Trippier and Botman, I benched both. Trusting United to do something. Uh, I don't know why. So the one good thing I like is the defense this week. I hope it returns, but this is how my team looks now. Decent, I would say, -4, and
It's
I
a
have 10
Christmas tree
players plus Da
formation,
Silva.
is it?
Yeah,
This is
Christmas tree,
pyramid.
Jose Mourinho, Jose
Or a
Mourinho
pyramid,
team.
yeah.
I mean, Sankalp is really praying his defenders get him the
yeah,
points. Otherwise, it's all on Salah and Kane. Then it will be
I,
2-2,
I was
1-1-0.
checking. I was checking
oh, I
this
think
season.
that back
I
guy looks really good. Yeah, because
I was checking my points this season. I have 33% of my points from captaincy. I mean, either I'm captaining really well or it means my team is really poor. This season, one third of my points is from captains.
Okay, so that is done. Let me go to my team. That's my slide. Yeah, that's my team. It has Darwin Nunes there. It is not Darwin, it's Bobby Firmino. And there the armband is on Trossard, which I was thinking in the morning. But I think I've put it on Bobby. I don't know what I'm going to do at the end. We'll see. So that's my
So,
team pretty much.
I see Darwin in your team and not Bobby.
Yeah, that's an old
That's a
screenshot.
whole screenshot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's referring to.
Yeah. So let's look at few other questions if you can find. Salah and Edward for Alba and Madison.
Salah, Edward, and Pogba.
Not Edward. I mean, I'll still go Solanke. Right? The fixture is good as
Yeah,
well.
pictures are
Save some
good.
money also, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Save some money.
The next one with triple Iridian, who would you search for Pope or I think it's Pope, no
Pope.
doubt. Don't go with
Answer is,
Pope.
answer is never what.
Then the time Sankalp is expecting a goalless draw there, I think Leeds will end up scoring.
And one
Just
thing I want to say, when it comes to differential captain, I think one player we have missed is Mitrovic. Right?
yeah,
He's playing
exactly.
Aston
Yeah,
Villa at home.
I had
Back to
I had
fitness.
my
I'm a
vice
lot of.
captain on Metro. You can see.
I am fairly confident of his return. compared to other assets because he's a consistent performer. He will not give you a huge haul, but I think he'll give you at least that one goal.
Yeah,
True.
I think in all likelihood going to be last match with Gerrard and Aston Villa, so might as well have
Go
a
at him.
I think that's pointing us to wrap the
Yeah,
episode
yeah,
at
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. It's like, that's the deadline.
A
Just 4 minutes before I think
reminder:
we're wrapping
there's
up.
4 minutes
To
to
go.
deadline. Make sure your captains are set, your transfers are done. Don't
Yeah,
forget
check
those.
once. Yeah. I
I
don't
think
know. I
I'm,
think I
I'm
should go with Bobby. Let's see what happens.
yeah.
2 pointer, then 2 pointer. I don't mind. I'm just looking at
Mm,
pressing the wild card button. So that's all I'm doing
Uh,
right now.
Yeah.
Wildcard flex.
There's no point. My team is going to end up being the same as most of you. Are just 1 2 picks here and there.
So the
And then
centerpiece for next stream is pretty much ready now. So it's just going to be
Yeah,
your
yeah,
yeah,
it's
wildcard
going to be
round
Aditya.
as satisfying. Yeah.
yeah. Aditya, don't do your transfers, till our stream. I think let's do it on the stream. It's
We
okay.
will
Price
decide
rise,
your
price fall.
we
How
will
does it matter?
True.
cool.
yeah,
Okay, guys.
so game week 13. Yeah, we'll see when we can do a stream. Probably around I think Friday or Saturday. We'll see depending on our schedule which one
Yeah,
suits.
definitely. Sure. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. All
So
the best, guys.
All the best, everyone.
See
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Best wishes to
See you
everyone.
guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.